The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. My guest this evening is Genevieve from the My Victorian Nightmare podcast. Genevieve, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing this evening?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Jennifer. I am doing well and I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I feel like magic is afoot.
Yes, yes.
We are ready to go. I was explaining before we met that I kind of opened the space beforehand. And some mediums ask, who do you want to connect with? But I love to just lead in and see who's there first.
Okay.
I also like to respect the order of things. The first spirit who came close for me was... He feels like a great uncle or someone a little bit removed, and he was very quiet. He was only there briefly, and he had a bit of a quiet silliness to him.
Huh.
And then he retreated.
Okay. Okay. Do you know maternal or paternal side by any chance?
It feels like dad's side.
Okay. Okay, well, I mean, they're very silly on that side. So
Are they?
Yes. They're all Irish and have the funniest sense of humor. Yes.
Okay. We could explore it a little bit further, but from there, a woman really stepped forward with a lot of motherly grandmother energy.
Okay.
Can you connect that?
Yes, very much, yes.
Okay. And she feels like she's the one that you wanted to talk to tonight.
Yes, that is.
She's expressing it on her side. It is a shame that she passed when she did, because it would have been great to know her more and share a knowledge.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
A little bit. I mean, should I say how she passed when she passed? Who I believe you're mentioning?
Well, one thing that she had shared with me was that she was the type of person who managed a lot, almost like made it easy, and like, wow, how do you do what you do?
Yep.
But then she talks about how her health burdens made her slow down and she had to stop that. Yeah. So that is what she shared with me.
Yes, yes. This is my grandmother on my father's side. Yes, she died of lung cancer. And she was the woman, she was the matriarch of the whole family. She was the one who... Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, she was the one who I just sat back and went, how do you do this for all of our minions of Irish Manions?
Yes.
You know, make and all of the grandchildren, of which there were like 30. She just made the most wonderful home and events for the whole family. And they just appeared to happen. And only as I got older did I realize just how much work and how much care and how much effort and difficulty it must have been for her. Yes.
She's flowing in with a lot of this nurturing, growing energy. Very, very solid, reliable. Reliable is such like a dry word.
No, but that's the word. that's a word that I would use for her. She was that my grandmother and my grandfather on that side were always so comforting. As soon as I'd walk in their home, all was right with the world.
Yes.
You know, it was that feeling of everything's safe. We're perfectly cared for.
And they're proud of that. That's what their goal was. You know, they're like, look at these riches that we can pass on in legacy. And your grandfather is coming through with to me, he's like, wow, he is a smart man.
Yes, he was a very smart man.
And it feels like he led with his ideas and his intellect, but your grandmother was guided by her heart.
Yes, very much. Very much.
And they're just, oh my God. Did they ever do the cheek pinching thing?
I think so. I mean,
it would have been a long time ago, because all of a sudden I'm just seeing her like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And just this, and there's something about the teeniness of things. Like, I don't know if it's every little detail or if I'm feeling like a dollhouse, like miniatures and like the teeny coziness of things.
My grandmother, should I say?
Go ahead, yeah.
My grandmother collected, they were called salts. They were very, very tiny, small, little bowls, little things that they were very fancy, often made of crystal. And she had an entire multi-tier thing that she kept. And I loved to look at them and I loved to play with them. Yes. We weren't allowed to touch them, actually. I was only allowed to look at them. And I would just look and stare. Yeah, she collected all of these little miniature, beautiful things. Yeah. That's the teeniness that immediately comes to mind.
I love to describe how things pour in for me. A lot of times it comes through with emotion first, and it's very nonverbal. When we're talking about her, I'm like, oh my gosh, this little teeniness. And like, I loved outhouses as a kid, and Spirit will use things that are in your psyche, in your energy system, and just pour that into. And then it's like, that's why I mentioned dollhouse, because it's like, oh, it's this teeniness, it's this whimsy, it's this comfort and this magical feeling about things.
Well, she definitely loved miniatures. She loved, there were these little figurines, and she had these figurines that represented all of the grandchildren, all of them, all of us. And when they passed, they gave them to us, each one of them. And yeah, so she was definitely a collector of small things that represented, or, very important to her and represented family to her, for sure.
And the other emotion that's coming in again is whimsy.
Really?
And, oh, look at this.
Really?
Yes. It feels like there's a bit of humor in there.
Oh, there was always a humor.
And almost like a little bit of like practical joking of, oh, look at this. And it's like a fish or something. Like the non sequitur or something. They
had a very dry, silly humor. The whole family does, because of them. I mean, we all got it from them. So we did nothing but laugh growing up with them. So there, that does not shock me at all, that there's the silliness in there, for sure.
But then she wants to switch gears and talk about, well, there was always a plan.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was a seriousness to things. She's like, there was planning and you do have to commit. And she wants to encourage you on that route. It's not like she's like quiet about the whimsy. It's just there's layers here. She's speaking of there was always this plan. And it does feel like it's tied in with family. Family is just so important. Maybe I'll be able to connect that a little bit more.
Yeah, if I knew what the plan was.
Right. If you would just tell us the plan.
Yeah, what's the plan, Grandma?
Okay, well, she's bringing up commitment. You have to weave in the love and the silliness and the laughter, that delight. I don't feel like it was always easy for her in the beginning. That upbringing.
I don't know much about her parents as much as my grandfather's parents. I know that they were Irish immigrants, her parents, and it was surely not easy, for them. I know that for her in her life, start, from little means, and married my grandfather, and they had a, big, beautiful house and all the kids, and but I doubt it was always easy. I think I believe she made it look easy.
Right.
Just as she's saying, she made it look like things just happened. And every little dream that we wanted to have happen came true. Just like that is how it looked. That's how it looked. But it could not possibly have been that way.
Yeah.
And only just because I was so little did I think it was that way. If that's what she's expressing to me, I think that's a really beautiful thing for her to share.
Yeah.
I do.
There's this offering of you have to find the joy in things and you have to share the love. Because otherwise, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
It's so easy to slide back into, oh, this is hard. Oh, this is difficult. It's never going to change. When you're not celebrating what you do have.
Yeah.
You know, and she was very big into celebrating what she did have. And she was going to grab it and love it with all her heart.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, she did. Yes.
Playing cards. I was seeing playing cards.
I have a solid memory of us playing. So there was a time when my family, my mom and dad had split, and we lost the house, and it was a really difficult transition. And we went to live with grandmom and granddad during that time of a really difficult transition. And they made it so as nice as it could be, this terrible time. Mm-hmm. And we did a lot of playing cards and a lot of laughing while playing cards. And that's how we would spend our nights, is doing that with especially grandma, but also granddad too, I think, if I remember. But it's mostly grandma that I remember cracking us up. I remember. So here's a perfect example of her sense of humor. I remember her laying the cards out, and it's going to sound terrible, but it's not.
Tell me.
She got the cards out. We all laid ours, and she, okay, all of you are stupid and dumb. And we're like, what? She went, oh, wait, never mind. I just made a huge mistake. And we're like, Grandma, we're all stupid and dumb. What? Oh, no, actually, no, it was me. It was just, we were flattened, just hysterically laughing. So, yeah, there's definitely a happy memory around cards with Grandma.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. And she's like, cheers to that. The sentiment is like, raise a glass to that. You know, it's just so perfect and important.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Some other imagery that was coming in, it feels like and looks like vintage or like carnival or circus. It's like all kinds of different lighting with the colors, and especially if it's in a darkened room, you know, that old arcade feeling.
Their basement was like the playroom, and they had really cool games like pinball machines. And yes, it was dark, and but it was the coolest place in the world. We'd run to the basement because there was so much fun stuff to play with down there for us that they got for us. If anything, to me, when I think circus or carnival or fun, that was their home. That was their basement. Yeah, that was it. It was like an old arcade was the basement. That was literally it. Yeah.
I heard musty dusty. So did you have a little bit of mustiness in that basement area?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. They had this old piano that was like 1,000 years old, or so it felt. It was all the keys were broken. Mm-hmm. And it definitely had that musty smell over there by the piano. You hit the
keys and individual and dust plumes.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was, and we loved playing with it, even though, because it still kind of worked a little bit. You know, it was like, but again, it was like 100 years old and made the most terrifying sounds, you know? That was definitely fun to play with, was that also that weird, creepy little part of the basement. For sure.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Okay. She was bringing up the word soulmate.
Soulmate.
And it feels like it has so many different layers to it. Let me single you out a little bit. Mm-hmm. But she feels like you are a soulmate to her. Oh. That you're very alike. Oh. Like two peas in a pod.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that you were meant to have this connection.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. She gave me I'm not a Christian, but she had this beautiful Madonna porcelain that she had on her dresser. And I would always go, the first thing I would do apart from run downstairs to the basement to play is I would always sneak off and I'd go up to the bedroom and I would talk to it, because I actually kind of felt that it was a statue of her and me, because it had, you know, it's the Madonna with the baby Jesus, and it kind of was like my representation of my relationship with my grandma. And she left it to me in the end. And before I even knew she had given it to me, in a dream I had a few days beforehand, she came to me in a dream, and there was a big bowl of jelly beans on the table, and the Madonna right next to it. And I had just dyed my hair black at the time. And the first thing she said was, "Jenny, I really liked your hair better the way it was before." And she had her smoky, you know, voice. And I was like, "I know, Grandma, of course." Because she always loved the red hair. The red hair was like this badge of honor in the Manion family. And then 3 days later, that's when I found out that the Madonna was left next to the bowl. Easter was 3 days later, and there was a bowl of jelly beans right next to it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I absolutely feel that way too about her. I had a very, very deep connection to her, and she to me.
Yeah, you could use the sentiment of, first off, she's very proud of you. And you could say, if you were going to translate this into words, that you take after her, but she feels like it's more profound than that. It's like you're the same. You know, taking after someone is kind of like, oh, I'm inspired and I'm mimicking. Whereas when you're the same and you're soulmates, you know, your souls are linked and similar, like little puzzle pieces. That is very different than you taking after someone.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I really wanted to express that to you. Now, I do want to come back again to her wishing that she had some more time. With that sentiment comes like an exchange of knowledge with you. Did she die a couple years? You know, it's been a while.
Yeah, she died when I was 18. So yeah, it's been just under 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a teenager at the time. And she died, I think in her 60s it was. Yeah. I mean, it's when you're that age, they seem so old.
Yeah.
You know, like 65 seems so old to you. Yeah. When I think now, it's like that's the age of my parents. And I'm sure to her, she didn't see herself that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. And perhaps, you know, it was around when I was around like 21, 22, when I first started having adult conversations with my other family members. Like, you know, those moments when you talk to an aunt and you're like, oh,
exactly.
We're kind of on the same level all of a sudden. I don't feel the kid. I was always the kid to my grandma, you know, and I always saw her as the very much older woman. And so I never had those moments where we could just really talk about grown-up stuff, adult stuff. And maybe that's what she's referring to.
That knowledge, that adult knowledge and relating to each other. You were just almost there when she passed, you know, and it's not that we carry a lot of regret with us when we pass, but we can't acknowledge like, oh, that timing sucked, you know, and that she wishes that she could have been there with you to have those adult bonding, exchanging of knowledge, exchanging of ideas, exchanging of energy. But I do want to say that she is definitely coming through with, she can still be a source of inspiration for you. And don't ever doubt that. And when she suddenly pops in your head or you have this idea out of nowhere and it feels and yet reminds you of her, it's real, it's authentic, and to trust that.
Oh, no, that's and that does happen often. It does happen often. And I'm happy to hear that. You know, because you never know what if the feelings are just your memories.
Yeah. As I was talking about the timing and everything, she's like, you better say it. You better say it. I'm like, I'm going to say it. Because
I call her often. And it's funny, my brother, I was just with family the other day, and I mentioned that I would be speaking with you. And the funny thing, my brother, he was like, you know, they were Irish Catholics. They're going to be like, why are you summoning us? We're Irish Catholics. We don't believe in any of this stuff. It's the kind of stuff they joke about.
Right.
But at the same time, though, I do feel her so often. Mm-hmm. And I do talk to her. I invite her to almost all of my rituals.
Yep.
And it's lovely to hear.
She's like, you better tell her. And I'm gonna, because it is important. It's so important.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's holding up this lantern for you, and the lantern represents knowledge, and she's like, I'm giving her knowledge. I'm giving her inspiration. We blend so well, is what she's saying, and it is a shame what we do, because we've been culturally programmed that way and stuff. But when, we instinctively feel it and it comes in, and then our analytical brain has to pick it apart. Like, oh no, that can't be true. And it's like,
yeah.
In my world, I have to come across that all the time, because your analytical mind just does not want to shut up, and it wants to run the show. And it's just so not fair. And if I let it win, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah. And I honestly, of course I have the same issue, but I still, no matter what, even when I have those moments of where she enters into my mind, where I see something happen that's a little too creepily, coincidental or a sign, I'm like, of course I could just say, it's, just is whatever, or take a moment to spend with my grandma.
Yes.
Yes. So that's where I go with it.
Go ahead and lean into that, lean into it. And if anything, that's the best thing you can do, because it strengthens the connection. A lot of people say, oh, I don't have any mediumistic gifts. And I just don't think that's true, because we're all energy. And where does energy meet the body? The nervous system. And we're just using our nervous system to navigate this human world of ours. But when we shift our focus, when we open the space, when we say, okay, I'm going to quiet myself and bring this in, and then lean into it. Your grandmother started coming in days before the reading, whenever I thought about you, and I didn't have the space open, and I was like, oh, that's just my analytical mind filling in the blanks. And it's like, shut up. Nope, that's not true. Trust it. You got to trust it. And because if you don't trust it, it's going to stop right there. Yeah. You're just shutting the whole system down. But, she came, we didn't talk beforehand, and the readings come so naturally that I think that people just assume we already know what's going to happen, Yeah,
no. I mean, we did not speak, and my grandmother was exactly the one on my father's side who I wanted to speak with today.
She is so caring and so magical and so just, and she's like, wait a second, don't paint me as a saint, because I was not a saint.
That's true. That's precisely what she would say.
In a way, she's sitting here like...
That's exactly... No, she would be sitting there... She'd be sitting there with a glass of whiskey, with a cigarette.
Like I said, cheers.
Don't you? Yes.
But then she's like, yeah, go on. Her personality, her energy is still very vibrant, very there. I know it's been decades, but we never lose that connection. We are always connected, and it doesn't fade. And it's just beautiful and amazing to share. I was seeing some graves. Do you go visit their grave?
My family is very big on visiting the relatives in general. My uncle, he brought us around to everybody's graves just a few years ago. And we went all through Baltimore. He loves to come and show us family members' graves up nearby. So it hasn't been their graves, but I've definitely have been visiting other family members in the area for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I really like to go through everything, but I do have some messages that I wrote down from her and from the collective. Okay, so you're ready to level up, is what they're saying. Embrace the metamorphosis.
Okay.
Okay, and your intuition is what's going to guide you with this.
Okay.
Follow your heart and protect your heart with grounding and centering energy, because things could get really big and you might lose that center. But it's your heart and your emotion and your intuition that is going to lead you forward and keep you on the right path. But you don't want to get distracted and lose that.
Okay.
You know, so make sure to ground and center to fortify yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, let your intuition guide you. Use that centering energy. Lead with your heart, because your heart's going to inspire creativity and a breakthrough in ideas. So it almost seems like a juxtaposition of, well, how can I get ideas if I'm listening to my heart, which is all emotion, but it's the emotion and the intuition that is just going to bing ideas and inspiration and creativity into your head.
Marvelous. Oh, marvelous. Oh. And can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
How do they know? Do they see my life already played out? You know, I wonder that, you know.
That is a great question, because sometimes I get like, people want future advice or law advice. And it's not so much that it's all played out and destined. What they're doing is they're in tune with your energy and they're blending with your energy, and they know what you need to hear.
Gotcha.
It's inspirational. It's validating.
Okay.
And when they have this microphone to be able to say it, it's like, how do we concentrate this down? And I love to give that space of what are the messages you want to give right now.
Well, specifically that message, the one that you just gave, that is where I feel I am right now.
Yes.
I'm on a precipice of things, of working on myself, of investing in myself, but still questioning, am I going in the right direction? Because I'm putting 1,000,000,000% of myself into a direction. And so to hear that kind of validation, specifically in the creativity and the ideas, that is exactly what I'm hoping for, is that's where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing with my energy, and that I am in the right direction.
Exactly.
So, so that hits very, very poignantly.
It's giving me goosebumps. The energy is just giving me goosebumps, and like out of nowhere too, you know, and it's just, I will never not be fascinated and awestruck by how complex just the soul is, and how it continues on, and how we are connected, and how precise they really can be. And yeah, they feel your energy. Of course, they see what you're doing. We can definitely share emotion and sentiment, and they know it. And if they have the opportunity, they're like, yes, we're going to tell you, you are so right, and cheerlead you on.
Wow.
Please keep going.
Wow. And may I ask just one more question?
Absolutely.
Where are they? Are they in our realm, but invisible? Are they in another realm just connected to ours? I would love to know. I mean, you know, where is a term of the third dimension.
Yeah.
So maybe beyond the third dimension, where they may not be, where may not be it. You
have such an analytical brain like me, because I'm like, where is it?
Yeah, but I understand that. Yeah, I might be I can tell I'm limited by the word, but I would just love to understand really how to wrap my mind around it.
I think the same thing when like people talk about like the Akashic records. I'm like, well, where are these records? How do you go? Where are you going? What? Because it sounds like this physical thing.
Yeah.
Okay. As best I can understand it, we've got this 3D world that we're navigating and we're in, but that is not all there is. It's just so compelling and hypnotic to us. It's like we're hypnotized by it.
Okay.
And we want everything to be tangible like that. We want it to be, I can hold it in my hands. Is it right here, or is it up above or below?
Yeah.
Is it light years away from me? I immediately start thinking of consciousness. Like, how do you quantify your consciousness? How do you quantify the images you're seeing in your mind's eye right now? That isn't physical, but are you denying your consciousness? Are you denying your existence? So they're already melded together. You're just in this, the material world that we are in is just condensed energy. It's not all forms of energy. But it's everywhere. Energy is everywhere. So to me, there is no separation. It's just, what are we paying attention to? What are we interacting with? It's almost like we are watching the world on this screen, and what's behind the screen? What is projecting onto the screen? You know, it gets weird quick. But, and then like I stopped making sense. But, you know, when you can connect with the part of you that is being, we don't pop out of existence if we're not having a thought. We can quiet our mind to just be. And that's when you start getting a little closer and you realize, all right, I'm witnessing this material world, but I am not I'm in it, but I'm not just the material world.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's all energy and it's everywhere. And I can't pretend to know what that's like to, you know, pass on. But I do believe we keep the aspects of what we were here, but we're more and we're everything.
Interesting.
And I think that reincarnation can fit into that. I think that everything all the time, all at once can fit into that. Your grandmother could be making a metaphysical omelet somewhere right now. She could be in the past. She could be in the future. She could be here with you now.
Okay.
You know?
No, I mean, I subscribe to so much of this, if not all of it. I even when I'm doing work with my girls, with my coven, when we invite spirits, I also tell them we can invite spirits of the dead, but I say we can also invite spirits of the living. I believe even as we are alive, that our spirits can wander. They can, I mean, I know, you know, the moment that I think to call my friend Kate, she's already there. She's got the phone, you know, in her hand. She's already ready. I feel like we are connected. Our energies are connected in a way, and time and space is no limit to our traveling. Even when we are alive, we might be a little more contained, but I believe that we have, you know, sections that can move and can exist, but I never thought of it through time or even in, you know, through the future. I didn't ever think of it in that term. I always think of like what I think of as now is where we move. But I love broadening that definition.
Yeah. And I think that's part of being here and doing this. The purpose of being in this body is to have that linear experience and also this individual expression of life. Whereas we are ourselves, but we're more than that, and we are part of something bigger than us. But right now we're playing around in this little playground of, hey, I'm going to watch the sunset, or hey, I'm going to move this, I'm going to nurture this plant, I'm going to kick that rock, I'm going to manifest this, I'm going to celebrate that, I'm going to create art, I'm going to expand knowledge, I'm going to expand creativity, I'm going to share ideas with others, I'm going to do all these things. And then like we're enriching the energy that is our consciousness. And I wish that we lived in a society that could support and nurture all of this, because it feels like this is what we're supposed to be doing at all times. And we're going to be so fulfilled and happy doing it. But we're stuck in these material structures. But we can remember that we have agency, every moment is a choice and it's your own. And you can wake up and grab your phone, or you can wake up and meditate and look at the beautiful petals of the plant that you're nurturing and growing. And I love marveling at the smallest little details.
Oh, yes.
Because then if you expand it to your room and to your neighborhood, to the world, to the universe, it's like, oh my gosh, this is insane.
No, I mean, I'm so utterly blessed that I have a botanical garden directly across the street from me. It's like literally across the street. I go there almost every morning, and I'll just stand and I have friends that love to travel, and I'm like, I can see the entire world across the street. I can spend time with the entire universe. By just spending time with the roses.
Yeah.
And no, I'm the same. And even in trying to focus on the very smallest thing, when I was very little, I would always be focusing on grains of sand. Just how far can I see into it?
And where did it come from?
Where did it come from? And then when seeing like what that looks like microscopic, it blows your mind even further. And
yes.
No, I'm the same. I'm absolutely the same. And I agree that I feel like that there is so much that our souls can learn and take into the next place by doing that. I mean, as above, so below. Everything that we can know, everything that we can know about here and there, there, here, where, can be discovered. Can be discovered right here in your own fingerprints.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm definitely a believer in that as well. But okay, no, I love these kinds of discussions because I'm always asking these, even on my own show, I'm always like trying to understand the where, but and the why and the how.
It's everywhere all the time. It really is.
But it's the conversations though that I love that I open up when we start. Even if we're starting from that analytical standpoint, you're always going to end up in a very broadened arena,
When you were talking about the botanical garden and how amazing it is, it immediately prompts me to one of my favorite thoughts is like, and whether you're having a bad day or traveling somewhere else or doing something, those roses are still there.
Yeah.
And they're having their own life. And it's like London is going on right now, Or one of my other favorite things is me and my partner, we'll be at the pub and I'm like, I'm just jazzed that this teeny little corner of the table exists.
It's going to be there.
And it's always there. And he laughs and he's like, oh, we're there already, huh? I'm like, yes, we're.
No, I love it. But honestly, back to what we were saying before, the collections. Which by her collections, the little moments, the things knowing that this exists here. Like every time when I save all my ashes, when I do all my rituals, and I put them in a box, and when it's all filled up, I put wildflower seeds in them and I plant them, so that I know no matter what, even if I'm having a hard time or I'm not quite, seeing my manifestations come, or if I want them to happen faster, I just go, oh yeah, they're all growing. They're growing over there somewhere. No matter what I'm doing, they're always in motion. They're always living. They're growing, sprouting new life, over there in another place. And I think about them all the time. My dreams are always growing.
Sending them new loving energy, cultivating it.
Yeah. And butterflies are being attracted to them. I love that mindset of... Yeah. It's the collections. It's the collections. These very precious things that are just the things.
Yeah.
The world that is around us. I love it. I love it.
The collections and the connection. Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, thank you. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I am so psyched that others are going to hear this. And we can amplify it, we can add that energy out there and other people will start thinking about it and it'll be in their head and then they're going to start manifesting. And it's just, there's such beauty in that. And
I love it too.
All right.
I love it too.
All right, Genevieve, tell us a little bit about your podcast. Tell us about everything about My Victorian Nightmare.
Okay. So I started this show at the most difficult time of my entire life. I had just left a marriage that was very toxic, that lasted a decade. And within this relationship, I had very much forgotten a lot of myself. I had stopped practicing the craft. I had just kind of, I felt like I was losing myself entirely. And as soon as I made the decision to leave and I got back into the craft and got back into listening deeply to my inner spirit, and also get back to my inner weird that I had also let go of. I was trying so hard to fit a mold for so long. And as soon as I decided and listened to this guiding spirit to tell me I needed to leave, I needed to get myself back, the first thing I did was I ran to Pinterest and I started looking at the creepiest Victorian stuff I could find, because I always, when I was younger, I was, a big goth, and it brought me so much comfort, and it was so much fun, and it was so elegant, and it was so cool. And that was when I felt most like me, was when I had this era on my mind, and the beauty of it, the beauty of mourning, the beauty of feeling it's okay to have grief, and there's so much to learn within grief. And the entire Victorian era, it just embodies that so much to me, was the decoration of grief, the beautification of the process.
Memento mori.
And just even the clothing and the widow's weeds and the jewelry, the black jet jewelry, everything about the poetry, in every corner of the era, there were people looking to really process grief and connect themselves to the dead and connect themselves to the beloved dead, of which they had so very many. And that really spoke to me. And I love that history so much. And I knew that if I was going to sound like me again, and that was the thing that I felt I lost the most, was my voice in this relationship. I could barely even speak to my own friends in the end. I knew I could speak at length about this entire era and still feel like me again. So I recorded about 5 episodes, and when I got to 5, I just started posting, and I didn't think anyone would listen. It wasn't necessarily for others. It was just in case someone else wants to hear. Maybe someone else would want to hear it. It was really just because I wanted to hear me being me again. And my voice came back, and a lot of folks were really appreciating that and feeling the same and finding the same eerie comfort in this time period. And so that's what the show is. It is a horror history podcast, but I like to say, no, it's really a show about caring about people. That's really what it's about. And recognizing just how important it is to be your weird little self.
Absolutely.
And that you have to be, if you're going to be yourself. I know it's where I feel my most authentic. And yeah, so it's grown and grown. It's the thing I'm the very most proud of in my whole life, of everything I've worked on. And it just keeps growing and growing. So My Victorian Nightmare is, that's the why. But yeah, it's creepy Victorian history, everything from the murders to the poisoned clothing to the, the ways in which people mourned their dead. Everything from Mary Shelley to the history of Victorian vampires. Every corner of the nightmarish era, I tried to dig deep into. That is My Victorian Nightmare.
That sounds amazing. What a love letter to the odd. And I'm going to be your biggest fan now.
Oh, darling, thank you.
I purposefully did not listen so that I wouldn't be influenced, and I knew I was going to be excited. Just the title alone is just, So yes, we are all going to check it out. And everyone who listens to this. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can find you
anywhere you can find your spooky podcasts.
All right. So we'll be right there together.
Thank you.
Having spooky tea together. Well, before we go, do you have a personal ghost story that you would like to share?
Well,
listener ghost story.
It's specifically about my grandma, and not just the dream. It's something that happened recently. And actually, I would love to know if she's still there. Connection is still open. I was doing a ritual recently, and it was very difficult because there's just things that, things coming up in my life that are a little tricky. And as you mentioned numerous times, she was such a comforting and guiding force for me, and brought so much of that it is all right, all is right with the world energy that I was craving so much. And so I asked her to come, and so I lit my candle, and I was just talking to her directly, and something happened that has never happened in a ritual before. The candle, the one that I actually have burning right now, it's a newish candle. It went out, and the smoke went sideways. And I got scared because I was like, wait a second. Does that mean that my circle's broken and I'm going to get possessed now? Does that mean that... I was like, wait, what does that mean? Because it's never happened before. And so I got really, really nervous. And I looked to my left, and there was a gigantic spider about an inch above my shoulder. So first, I'm terrified I'm possessed. I look, and now I'm terrified because there's a gigantic spider. And I jump up, and I quickly relight the candle to kind of properly end the situation, to end the ritual properly. And I run and I get a paper towel to guide the little guy out of my apartment. And then I look on my phone real quick. Okay, what does it mean? The candle gets blown out in your ritual, and it said that it can mean, luckily not that you're something evil has come in, but it can mean a message or a warning. And I was like, wait, was my grandma trying to warn me? Right. A spider on my shoulder. And as always, show me just how much she is caring and looking out for me. That's what it seemed like, but again, who knows? But does she have any words about that?
First, I love the sequence of
Oh God, it was, I've never had that happen to me in my life. That kind of, I jumped out of my skin twice in a row. I was wide awake for the rest of the day.
This feels like a little bit of pranky energy to me. When something unexpected and unknown happens, we can't help but feel a little frightened because we weren't expecting that, and it kind of defies logic. And how does your brain process that? And then some people just clamp onto that fear and they run with it, right? Your grandmother is just coming in again with that same, you're ready to level up, and that you're so powerful. First off, nothing is going to touch you because you're not playing with that kind of energy. Your energy is a natural buffer for anything sinister to come in. It really does feel like it was a bit of playful energy going on.
Okay.
When spirit really wants to physically kind of touch on me a little bit, it's cold. It's always cold. And Hollywood tells us that that's evil. And it's like, your grandmother isn't evil.
No. I mean, I only heard recently, I looked that up. I'm like, what is it about the cold? And I read, I mean, again, it's theories, but it's that they need the energy of the heat to help them manifest.
That's a really great idea.
It's as simple as that. It's not a negative thing. It's that it takes energy to manifest, and heat is energy, and they pull it from the environment and that's why it will get cold, so that they can manifest.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, I don't see it as any kind of dangerous or just because it makes you shiver. It's they're borrowing the energy from the room. I love that concept to me.
Yeah, I love that too. And I'm gonna definitely remember that. Keep it in my pocket because it happens a lot, and other people can feel it too.
Yeah.
like to the chagrin of my partner. There was one time afterwards, I was still talking with my sitter and we were going back and forth, and I was sitting there and suddenly this energy was just like manifesting in my lap. And it was a summer night and my guy was right next to me. I'm like, can you feel this? And he's like, it's like sticking your hand into a freezer. And it really freaked him out because we were about to go to bed. He's like, this person's not going to be hanging around, right?
Oh, that's so creepy.
Yeah. And just speaking of the Victorian era and manifestation, like physical mediumship, and I know there was like a lot of hoaxy things going on at the time, but I'm really intrigued by it. I wonder what is possible. And I've had objects in my own home disappear and reappear at ports. And it's just a whole fascinating realm in itself to kind of go down that rabbit hole and explore. And
yeah, no, I really love wrapping my mind around it. Just because, I mean, in my family, especially my mother's, she's like the kind of person who she would hear and see things. Like she'd be in a room and it was like you know, the thing that you turn to open French blinds, Venetian blinds, sorry.
the stick.
Yeah, the stick. She would, like, she pulled it up and one day she's like, hey Genevieve, check that out. I'm like, what? And it's just spinning. There's no air anywhere. It's not coming from the window. There's nothing. She's like, someone's here. Like that would be like, that's like a normal conversation, normal situation. She would hear the sound of like a gigantic hutch in our living room, just the sound of it picked up and dropped on the ground. Wow. Yeah, she was always an attractor for all kinds of manifestations that we could literally see and be like, oh. I don't know how much more time you have, but when I was a child, the only time I ever thought I saw a ghost, it was one of those horrifying things in my experience in my life. It was a man who just sort of materialized out of a dark corner, and he did not like me. And it was a very, very angry energy. And he was wearing a pinstriped suit. And he was a black man, and I didn't understand. I'm like, why? It wasn't necessarily that he was angry at me. He just had a lot of anger. And it was just hanging in the room, and his feet didn't touch the ground. He just hovered and smiled at me. And the next day, I was too scared. It was all night long that he was there. And the next day, I was too scared to talk about it. I hadn't slept. I just was in my little kid head just trying to make sense of it. But a few days later, I told my mom what happened. And my mom said, okay, let's go try to find out who he was. And so we went to the library. And we found out, this was, the 80s, before the internet. So we went to the local library and we looked up our house and the area around there to see what was there. And she discovered that just outside there was a railroad tracks that were right outside our house that were built in the late 1800s. And there's a photograph of all the men who were likely prisoners, all in the pinstripe suits, who were building that railroad. Wow. And she went, did he look like these men? And he did. Wow. And so, like, that's my mom. It's not, oh, that sounds interesting to you. It's like, okay, let's meet him. Let's find out maybe why he was so sad or mad. Maybe we could find him. Yeah. I think about that all the time. Yeah. All the time I think about it.
Yeah, and acknowledging what he went through and sharing that emotion with him. Yeah. Again, it would be so easy to think, oh my gosh, he's angry. It's scary. Mm-hmm. This is terrible. But like when we lean into our curiosity and are seeking to understand, it can change it and transform it into something completely different. Yeah. And then he has this acknowledgement to what happened, like his story.
He was perhaps trying to tell me. Mm-hmm. He was expressing to me. Yeah. Maybe, his last experience. Yeah. And I was, able to receive it. I don't think I've had that kind of sensitivity since I was a child, but I was there and I was able to accept it. And, oh boy. But yeah, that was So frightening. So frightening. Yeah. And I just hope that he was able to, if anything, hopefully he felt heard and could have moved on.
Yeah. And your mom handled it so well.
She's great like that.
You hear so many stories of like, oh, it's just your imagination, go to bed.
No, hers was, let's go meet him. Let's find out who he was. Let's go to the library. I love that
so much.
Yeah.
Oh, this conversation has been so rich and just so thought-provoking, let alone spiritual. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jennifer.
I'm so honored to know you.
Same.
And thank you so much for trusting me to share this space with you. And
it's such a gift. Thank you so, so much. It's such a gift.
Well, I am going to go listen to My Victorian Nightmare all day.
Thank you.
I encourage everyone else to do as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fear Daily is a podcast that takes you into the shadows of the past, unearthing the 1990s most terrifying tales of monsters, madness, and life after death. Discovered on a forgotten bulletin board server somewhere in Pennsylvania's Rust Belt, these stories are an archive of humanity's strangest encounters with the unknown as told by the people who experienced them. Written by Brennan Storr, creator of the Ghost Story Guys, and hosted by Brandon Scheck-Snyder of Southern Gothic, Fear Daily is your window into the dark corners of our world. Follow Fear Daily today on your favorite podcatcher to receive new episodes Monday through Friday, each and every week.
Hey everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Elizabeth.
We're sisters, wine lovers, and your hosts for the podcast Spirits Uncorked.
In season 2, we're leaving the haunted waters of Lake Lanier in Georgia and diving into all new spooky stuff. Shadow people?
I've seen them.
Haunted military bases?
I've served on one.
Local restaurants with ghostly reputations?
I work at one.
Okay, if something spooky doesn't happen to you, I worry about you.
The paranormal is my normal.
Plus, we'll sip and chat with horror authors, fascinating guests, and test out some superstitions along the way.
Knock on wood.
So uncork a bottle and pour a glass of the paranormal with us on season 2 of Spirits Uncorked.
Get ready for sips, scares, and sisterly sarcasm.